how things have changed over time, and how he tries to be, and how he tries to, and how it's like how he needs to hold on to this code for him to be able to almost keep his sanity at the same time. It feels like,
Oh, okay.
whereas it also
Yeah.
because that's what this is what, and this is the meaning of it. Like if he doesn't keep that, because it's very much it's very much shown that other people can handle the complexity of it. Like I don't need to kill. I'm not gonna go around killing people, but I'm not gonna sit here. But I am in the position where I know for sure that if it comes down to it, and I have to save myself or save someone else, and the only option that I can see in front of me right now is to take this guy out fully. That's what I can do that. But the difference
Yeah.
is this
Yeah.
guy, because he's so powerful, and because of his simplicity as a person, as a hero, as his personality wise, I think it's one of those things where if he started killing, I don't think he could ever be able. I
Yeah,
think
I don't
the
think it'd be a
dark
good
side
idea for him to start
would
killing. If you're like the
kill,
most powerful
and
person on earth, and the only thing you have for people to have faith in you is your code and the trust in your word that no matter how powerful you are, you ain't gonna be out here killing people left, right, and center. I feel like it'd be a bad idea for him to literally start killing people because everybody would be afraid. Because eventually people will start
well,
thinking, well, if he's killing these dudes,
what
who's he killing next?
the thing about it is, when his son killed the bad guy, 78% of America was supportive of what he did, because because for the over 90 years, this man has chosen to always to always save lives, even the bad guy at the same time, and just keep throwing him in jail, and these bad guys keep getting back out, causing more hate mayhem, and he just keeps capturing them, putting back in the same fucking process. So it's more the I so yes, I think it's a good idea that this guy doesn't kill, because I just don't think he has the capability to be able to deal with that complex that complex
Just
type of
deal with it
issue.
psychologically. Might
Yeah,
traumatize
you know what I
him.
mean. It's like somebody, no offense, but it's also like people from somebody from what's his name from the boys what's his name.
Huey,
No, not Huey. The superhero guy, Commander. Um, uh, the
Homelander,
blonde guy, Homelander. Yeah,
Homelander.
Homeland. To be honest, Homelander is a superhero. If they had put on him the code of not killing, I think he would have been better off as a person, because reality. But then it's also one of those things, because he seems to be the kind of person, because once he started killing, I don't think he can't help himself now. He just can't stop. You know what I mean? He likes killing. He likes lasering people. That's what he does. Well, this guy's the same thing, except because he's older now, he's much weaker. He's a little bit weaker now. He's still powerful as hell, but he's a little bit weaker, and he's starting to show his age.
Mm-hmm.
And his son seems like he's starting to get to that kind of level at the same time. But hands down,
Mm-hmm.
it's very obvious the sister is very much the most powerful. Like, she just seems like she is, like, in terms of, but that she's never really fought in like a real bad guy, a real, you know, tour de force bad guy. She's kind of dealt with like minor things, because she's not a superhero. She's kind of somebody who has powers and stuff, and she chooses not to be a superhero. Rather, she's more celebrity than, and who has abilities and
Huh.
just does whatever she wants, really. There's a
Oh,
lot to it.
okay. Oh, so superheroes are like celebrities in their world as well. Okay.
What they
I don't know,
well
man.
yeah
This show sounds super duper boring.
For me, honest, I enjoyed it because, like, I enjoyed it because it was very much like a spin on a class on an old age on an old age goodie, you know what I mean? Narrative, like, where, yeah,
Yeah.
it's about CPU, but then it's also the idea that, like, the father, the the main character guy, his brother is the bad guy, and he doesn't know. His brother
Oh,
has the
okay.
ability to read minds.
Well,
He's the intelligent. The older brother is the intelligent one. So it's one of those things where, like, because the younger one is the most powerful in terms of he can't read his mind. the older brother can read minds of anybody and control people in their mind, body, physically. But but their powers are so. But most of their power, what I like about it is most of everybody's powers is very very much grounded at the same time. It's not something like Superman's where it varies, or even Captain America's where his strength varies on random
Oh, so
shit
they have a
that doesn't
clear
make sense.
power system for the
Yeah,
universe.
yeah, like
Okay, well,
you
I
know,
will say that I'm very just like, you know me, right? I'm always like black female representation is in the 60s, and I just feel like it'd be nice if there was more black female superheroes. I mean, it just sucks. That's all I'm
yeah.
saying.
I mean, there is a black superhero in there. You know, she's the daughter. She's a legacy daughter.
I
She's
know,
the
but
daughter
is she like fully
of the
black? I
black.
mean, she looks like a black girl, not like a mixed race girl. Because if she doesn't look
Okay,
like
yeah,
an
never
actual
mind.
black
Yeah,
girl,
okay.
then she doesn't count.
Okay. I mean, okay, she looks mixed race to me. I
Nah,
mean,
she mixed, right? See, I called it
I
every
mean,
time. They
she's
just want these like
American.
light skins, to be honest.
I'm not gonna lie, she's American. So I
I
mean,
know
you
she's
know, it's one of those
American,
ones
but if
where
you actually know anything, the average American does look like a black person. Like Americans don't, black Americans don't look like obvious, Africans from, the continent of Africa. They don't look like those black people, but the majority of them do just look black, like brown skin to darker Afro hair. They just look, with all these TV shows, they always just select people who are mixed or really white passing. So,
yeah,
so
it's
the
very true.
representation
Very
doesn't
true.
count because she doesn't represent the average black girl. So we don't
That's
have any
very
superheroes.
well,
I mean, what's
okay.
that
I
TV
mean,
show? The Black Family TV show that's like superheroes. It's not Dynamite.
Black
It's
family, Black family TV show with those superheroes.
yeah, the whole Black family have powers apart from like the mom, I think, who's a scientist. Black
Black
Lightning.
Lightning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we do try our best.
Well, okay. I mean, okay. I'm not gonna lie. Like the Black Lightning. Okay. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm starting to see what a lot of people say. Where people go, actually, what the hell is this? What's this? Da-da-da-da. Okay. I'm starting to see what a lot of people say when people say like where people say that the CWs where shows go to die. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like what like Supergirl is just a terrible. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, Supergirl was terrible. To be honest,
terrible
I just don't
show
understand why they
for
made the show
me.
like that. Why was she also such a dummy? Like, and why does she need to be so upbeat and bubbly? She's a superhero. Like, honestly, Supergirl, I've yet to see a decent Supergirl rendition. I want to see a
Like
version of Supergirl where it's a dark universe and she just goes out
I
and just
actually
murders people and
I
people are terrified of her.
like I actually did a I did research on like Supergirl, the character itself, and everything, and basically the character itself is nothing like the rendition that they have on the show itself. The actual comic book
Hmm.
character is a much she remember because she grew up on Krypton, so she remembers Krypton. She remembers how amazing it is. She remembers that she feels the indifference that she is with the humans. Like she is a Kryptonian. She's not like Clark, who is human, who happens to be Kryptonian. You know, she didn't grow up, or she didn't grow up in this kind of like. She didn't grow up as a human, or she didn't grow up being like human-like. She knows that she's a Kryptonian. She knows that she's different. She believes that she's always had her powers in terms of like flying, and she's strong and she's smart. So she grew up in a in a highly much more technological world. So she's very much, and also because she's Kryptonian, because she has those kind of ideals at the same time, she also has that. She instilled in her is this kind of like, she doesn't understand certain ways and behaviors of humans, and she kind of has this idea where Clark wants to just keep saving lives and stuff. She's more, I want to fight the bad guy and just beat the bad guy. I don't care to be saving lives. That she just wants to beat the bad guy. She's not much for saving lives because she doesn't care for the humans as much.
That's like
She
way more
doesn't.
interesting than what they gave us.
I
That's
know.
way more
I know.
interesting than the stupid crap that they gave us.
Yeah.
Like, and because she's
Yeah.
Kryptonian, they could have made her super arrogant. They could have even had a
Yeah.
scene.
That's what
Obviously,
she
they can't
is.
afford
She
it because
is.
Superman. But they could have had a scene where where Clark was talking to her, and she's all like, "Yeah, don't talk back to me, little boy. You have to remember I'm older than you, right?" That would have been hilarious,
Yeah.
Because she's meant to be more
And the,
powerful than him as well. So she just slapped him around a little bit too.
well, I
Man, I
mean,
really want to adopt Supergirl. Let's be
and the
honest.
thing about it is, and the thing about it is, what is it? And the thing about it is because eventually she eventually just at most times she does a lot of adventures outside off Earth because she's not as attached to the planet as Clark is. You know what I mean? She just
Yeah,
starts
of
going off
course.
or to different worlds and find and working, and she's more comfortable around aliens because she is an alien. She understands that, she feels that, rather than this kind of because humans are obviously humans are weak, and humans are very flimsy as things, and they're just emotional creatures that do things on an emotional level. Versus when when you grow up Kryptonian, you're very much taught logic is the way. You're very much taught so many you're very much taught to be a certain type of way. You're not taught to be this very emotional person. You're taught to go off. You're taught to think logically before anything else. And especially because obviously they're very much more advanced than most people. So it's a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
so
Also, it
Supergirl's
must
a
be hard for
terrible show,
her.
man.
Al-
Terrible show.
Okay, but also it must be. al- Okay, also it must be hard for her because, like, imagine being from like a super advanced society, and they probably have loads of visitors from other planets. Because I remember you were just saying that she feels more comfortable around aliens, and I'm like, it's like coming from a city where there's like all these different like nationalities and cultures and stuff, and then just being put into like a backwards dirt hole in the middle of nowhere. That's probably how she feels. She sees everything. She's
Yeah.
like, this is trash.
What?
It's like be living in New York City, like in the beat of culture and like technology, and then just being taken to like, I don't know, the crust of America. Like, I'm sorry, America, I apologize, but the crust of America, like the edge in the middle of goddamn nowhere, and
Well, yeah. I
everybody's
mean,
related.
yeah, and so it's very much like that in terms of whatever. But in terms of like Superman's powers and stuff, it's their powers are just so ungrounded in certain things in comics and whatever. But what I like about Jupiter's legacy is that their powers are grounded. Like, he's strong, he's overwhelmingly strong, but when he fights a bad guy who's almost roughly on the same level, and as he's getting older, and also the way that he fights. It's like Superman doesn't fight a bad guy with his full strength. He fights a bad guy on the same level to try and minimize the damage he can do to that person at the same time. Well, Jupiter,
Oh
in
yeah.
terms of Jupiter's legacy, the main character, the Union, what his name is, I think it's Union. He basically fights to try and save the bad guy at the same time. So
Oh yeah, yeah, I
gets
see.
so in a way he's fighting with one hand tied to behind his back, so he gets a beat down. Because at first you never understood how his son was able to just basically
And
while
my
this
guy.
guy was just what I mean? This guy was just killing people left, right, and center, and it looked like he was about to kill his father as well. And his son just leaps up and just smashes this guy's face in, and it's like, wow. So I don't understand, And at first you're like, why is that possible? And he goes, and then you realize that actually the way he fights is that he fights not to win. He fights to protect it, to save everybody. So it's kind of
Yeah, he
interesting.
just wants to like disable the enemy, but then at the same time, it's also kind of what I like about Invincible. It's just that like being superpowered is all well and good and everything like that, but it doesn't actually make you invincible. And then there's also the fact that if you're not careful with your strength, it can literally murder people. I mean, yeah, I did finally watch the previous episode of Invincible, and oh my god, like he just straight up
You mean the final
traumatized his
episode?
son. Yeah, like he just straight up traumatized his son. Like it was like overkill. Like it wasn't even okay. Like he was all like, "Oh, I need to save these people," and he's like, "Nah, like just watch them die at their ants." And it's just like, what am I even supposed to say to that, buddy? What am I supposed to say to that friend when he's like got his face and like face palming them through the bodies of all these people in this train? And I'm like, mate, chill, like chill.
But that's
Oh, and when
but
he
because
punches him down and he goes through all these buildings and literally kills all these people simply because of the impact, I think that's way more realistic when it comes to like crazy powers like that. He was like friggin' super fragile against
but
stuff like
but
that.
but isn't but I think but if I think this is what's so interesting about the